Le Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts is dedicated to preparing aspiring professionals in the areas of culinary arts, patisserie and baking, and hospitality and restaurant management.
Disaster Planning and Response Art Rescue is a first responder for the world of art, providing planning, packing, evacuation, conservation, and storage for all your treasured possessions. Paperweights are the crown jewels of glass artistry. You can discover both antique and modern paperweights at the L.H. Selman Gallery in Chicago's Fine Arts Building.
My name is Elysabeth Alfano, and you are watching Fear No Art Presents The Dinner Party. So we do stream live, fearnoart.tv. I invite three creatives. It's usually artists, but sometimes it's entrepreneurs or inventors, maybe. And I bring them to dinner that a celebrity chef makes, and over wine and food, we talk about art and the many things going on in the city and, of course, in the nation.
I'm thinking about the audience, but not necessarily how to best impress the audience. I just, I don't know, you know, I go out there specifically to emote, to do these things. So I think about whether what I'm doing is as relatable as it possibly can be, but I also go out there just as much for me as I do for anybody else. You know, anybody who's watching. So. And
so when you say that you try to make it relatable, and the same for you guys, what do you mean? Just how you want to connect with people?
Well, I mean, I wanted to, for the audience, I wanted to go beyond watching something interesting. You know, I wanted to have some personal relevance, and I think that there is a way through both generality and specificity that you can craft a performance to be able to be accessible to anyone in your audience.
Yes, yeah, and I think that's why
trick. Magic.
And it is magic. How many of you can get to Displays on Wednesday? Because Wednesday he's playing at the Tivoli Theater with Mavis Staples.
Yes.
Opening for Mavis Staples, which is so incredible. So of course everybody watching knows Mavis Staples, the wonderful Mavis Staples.
Yeah.
Yeah, well I feel that every time I watch you perform, and Billy is the lead guitarist for the Uptown Sound, which is the band that backs JC. I feel that every time I see you perform that you really are talking to me specifically. I mean, to me, it's very relatable what you do. So
thank you.
It's very exciting.
Well, I was going to say also, you know, stories of love gone wrong tend to be. That's one of those universal things.
Yes.
Where it's like, oh, everything's always going perfect for you in your love life. F off. Yeah.
I have one more question for Billy, but should I give you a break so that you can eat? Because I want you to eat this. Okay, but it's also a question for Gustavo, because you know, again, you can see how these people push themselves. These artists push themselves. Is art an addiction? Because you know, when you're working 7 days a week and you keep pushing and you keep going and you want more and you don't stop and you have more ideas.
It's actually something that you cannot really control.
You cannot, this is what I mean, you cannot really control.
It's also like creativity is not something that you decide when to do it, it's something that just comes. And also that you just you are walking in the street, listening to music, and just an idea comes, and like, that's not maybe the time that you're working in the studio, but it's the non-stop of the brain that cannot sleep somehow.
Yes, and is that ever overwhelming?
No, it's actually sometimes it takes you away from the real problems.
The real progress?
No, problems.
Oh, problems. Oh, the real problems. Oh, yes, I can see this where you would throw yourself into something and it would take you away from the real problems. I have a tweet here. I think it's for Billy. We'll see. This person. So I have to rely on my old phone. And the reason I have this old phone is because I'm Apple, Mac store. I'm too poor to have an iPad. So if an iPad wants to be donated to the show, boy, would we love you up as one of our sponsors. I have a question for Billy, and the others as well, from V. Bleer. V. Bleer, you've just won 2 tickets to Second City. which is fantastic. Yes, and these tickets can be used anywhere, or I mean any show. Sorry.
Anywhere. Those are promises I don't know you can keep.
You can go to Macy's and
any place you ever want to go to.
I'm sorry, any show. So Second City ETC, Second City Main Stage, you can use them anywhere.
Wonderful.
So V. Blair, you're very lucky. Be sure to direct message me your address and I will get those to you. What do you get? Oh, how do you get through a creative rut? Anybody, everybody.
I don't know. I think this is going to sound like I'm haunted, but I think I would. I think at this point it would be nice to just have a break and not be trying to make some idea happen that I'm sure needs to exist. I don't think I would get through it as if it was really difficult. I think I would embrace that because I mean we're all creative people. You go to bed and you dream at night for you know. It's 3 hours a night, right? So like, if you're lucky, some good days, 5. But no, you get to. So we're all creative people, so it'll definitely come back. So maybe those times are good times and should be enjoyed. Like go to the park, man.
I see. A time to regenerate, actually.
It's probably the brain telling you.
Enough.
Have a little break, yeah.
Yes. And that's where some of the good ideas come too, when you are in the park or, when you're not hammering away.
When you're not trying.
When you're not pushing.
I feel like that for me personally there's times when I'm like making stuff and I'm working very hard on stuff, and there's times when I'm collecting stuff. I usually wind up like buying a lot of movies or going to the movies a lot or going to the museum a lot, and it feels like I'm just collecting stuff.
Yes.
And I think I'm relaxing. But I'm probably not. I'm just getting more.
Right, you're taking
fuel.
input. Yes,
And as a choreographer, I had different times in my career. And for example, to put an example, it got to a point that I didn't know what to do sometimes with the hands, like how to move them, or I didn't find the way that I actually wanted to do. And I found myself in Barcelona in the subway, and like suddenly I saw these people, like also Spanish people, it's really expressive when they talk, they just had to keep moving. And somehow like by seeing them and by seeing how they were moving the hands and how from far in the same wagon, but like not even listening what they were saying, I could understand what was going on with them. And I remember like, I thought like in that moment, that's how I want to move the hands. Like I think it's not, I mean, of course, the background of the dance and all the choreographers, all the dancers that I work with, all the dancers give you the solutions for so many things. But I think in general, everything that is around you is what inspires you. You never know what can be, even this, you can see something.
Yes, I think this food is inspiring. Actually, I do. I think it's very inspiring. But I think that is particularly true with your work, and I say this very sincerely, that I feel that I don't need any dialogue or subtext or anything. It is all very clear to me from your choreography what is going on and what is being emoted, and I'm definitely going March 24th.
And it's also
and so are you.
That's also a good way to go and see dance, because whoever goes to see dance and try to see something really specific is going to be disappointed. So what
do you mean?
Because like sometimes we want to understand everything. And like, that's what I mean. Like if you want people to understand something really specific, you just talk. And I tell you this, and I tell you this. That's why there is also so many kind of dance that they actually have the talk, because they want you to understand something really specific. But if you go to a dance show and it's just dance, I just suggest that you just sit, relax, and smell it.
For me, it works well because this cuts my time down to about 2 days of prep to get a final product, as before it was taking, a week, 2 weeks to try to have all these elements come together. So we have a solid idea when we start.
So the drawing actually helps you save time because you're thinking about it ahead of time.
Exactly. If you can see this dish compared to the drawing, I mean, they come out almost identical at this point.
Wow, yes, it is almost identical. I can see dry ice in the corner, and yes.
There's a lot of ingredients on this dish.
And where do you get your ideas from?
Really all over. I find inspiration from everything, actually. Dance, like ballet, for example. How the servers move in the dining room, we look at that. I look at architecture of buildings to think of different ways to present food and angles. It's really, I don't look at it from a food standpoint. I mean, that's definitely my first motivation, but we try to draw inspiration from everywhere.
Well, and this makes sense. How many of you have dined at Tru? Yeah, so exceptional. Isn't it just exceptional? I think we have a JPEG of look at this interior. So the whole experience at Tru, you can see these gorgeous plates, but this lovely dining room, and they have a phenomenal art collection. So if you can see the Donald Judd in the corner, and they've got Warhols, and you really work with one gallery in the city, I think the Alan Coppell Gallery, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, so, and you can see another piece of artwork there, but an exceptional collection, and so you're going for this whole experience. It's a very soothing, peaceful, all the natural food, and really just such an artistic presentation.
Yeah, we have, from the kitchen side, we definitely have a lot to compete with in the dining room. So, you know, again,
Yes,
all the art
right.
in the room is very motivating.
Yes.
And, you know, when they bring in the new floral arrangements and things like that, all of it kind of ties together to help us create.